Hello everybody, John Ward, Director of Emergency Management here in Clay County, and we're coming to you from the Emergency Operations Center where the Unified Command is based out of, working with the Florida Department of Health in the response to the COVID-19 event here in Clay County. I wanted to take this time to reach out to our residents here in the county and let everybody know that we're all in this together. Whether it's the healthcare workers, the first responders, the emergency management team, and many others, are all community. We all live in the community, and we're feeling the same struggles that you all are, whether it's groceries not being on the shelves from surge buying. This is not like a hurricane. You do not need to surge buy. Get what you need for the week, which will allow all our vulnerable populations and everybody else to get the groceries they need for those type things. Some of the other similar issues that we're seeing is high school students, whether that's graduation or the students being home. I have two seniors myself that are kind of watching towards what this end of the year is going to be like for them in their senior year. Unemployment. We're seeing a lot of unemployment here in Clay County from the hospitality industry being closed. So we need to work together on finding other resources for our citizens to either get reemployed or get them the assistance they need. Kids being out of school, that is definitely an unplanned challenge that a lot of our working families are having to deal with. And then there's also the distance learning, and learning the distant learning as to how we're going to teach our kids as we move forward for the next few weeks, potentially months to the end of the year. And then we all joke about the toilet paper. Where can you find toilet paper and the surge buying of toilet paper? So these responders that are working these 16-hour days have less time to get these supplies by the time they get off shift, those type things. So kind of just wanted to say on a positive note, because of what we're doing, the spread of the virus is spreading slower than what was predicted here in Clay County. And that's because we're keeping our social distancing. We're avoiding the large groups. The numbers will rise in Clay County, but we can slow the spread by listening to those CDC regulations that are coming out and avoiding the large groups and social distancing. Let's talk about some of the things we can do in the county. Food banks. We're seeing a lot of residents call in that have needs now that they're either out of work or they're out of school now and they need food to help feed their family. We're pushing them to the food banks, so we're asking if you want to do anything, donate to your local food banks. That's where we're pushing a lot of the families in need as to the food banks. They already have the processes in place for distribution. At the county level, we're working with our state partners, and we're just going to work to make sure that those commodities are backfilled and they can continue to supply the food that's needed to provide to our community. Some of the other things that we can do, let's talk about as far as while we have this time down, while we're social distancing, what can we do? Our county parks are still open. And I know there's been a lot of question about that, but as long as we're avoiding our large groups of 10 or more, we can still get out there. We can still go for walks in the park. We can still bicycle at the park and walk the beautiful trails along the river, those type things. Get us outside rather than staying cooped up in the house. Just be sure to social distance. Our state forests are still open. State parks are closed, but our state forests are open, which enables us to get out and again, hike, fish, hunt for whatever hunting season it may be. Those are the type of things we can be doing. Boating. We've got a lot of beautiful waterways here in Clay County. Take the time to get out and fish on the water. Remember, social distancing. We're seeing a lot of boats tied up together, but just remember the social distancing in this. Bicycling. We can get out, bicycle with the family, ride the neighborhoods, just get out and enjoy this beautiful weather we've been having. And then if you want to stay in the house, there's a multitude of things you can do at the house. We have many social media platforms, MySpace, Twitter, Facebook, video chats that we can stay in touch with our family with. Those are some ways to maybe stay in touch with the family if we don't want to get out and see our elderly population that much. So we're keeping the social distancing. And then there's other things like the Clay County Libraries has many online resources such as online learning, online symphonies, those type things that you can look at to kind of fill that time and take some educational efforts in this also. So in closing, as a community, we're in this together. And we will recover together if we all do our part and flatten the curve and minimize the spread, to include follow the CDC guidelines. Get our information from reliable sources. The CDC, the Florida Department of Health, the Clay County BCC website, and the emergency management social media pages. Avoid large groups of 10 or more. If we keep that congregant below 10, we're not going to see those large groups where it's able to spread. Our younger generation really needs to listen and follow these guidelines, as they may not get impacts of this, but they can easily spread to our vulnerable populations, which can be impacted by this. And that's our biggest fear in this as we're getting out into the community. And then speaking of our vulnerable populations, check on them. Give them a call. Get the groceries they need. Be sure to leave it on the front porch so we're not interacting them and potentially exposing them to that. So I just wanted to say thank you, Clay County, for doing what you're doing and helping to this response. Everybody's in the midst of this response together, and together we will recover. And I just wanted to say, if you have any further questions or concerns, you can reach out to us 7 days a week, 8 to 5, at 877-252-9362. Thank you, Clay County.